Okay, so I think we're online. Yeah, I think we're online. It is so ridiculous that YouTube by now doesn't have a system to where you know exactly when you're online. But we'll see what happens. So today I was able to download um, Revenge OS, and it is basically OB Revenge, and nobody here but you, Tulls. I guess I should say something, huh? Excuse me. Anyway, OB Revenge is now Revenge OS. So he basically combined everything with it. So it originally had a KDE, a Mate version, and the open box version, which was the default. And now he pretty much made it Revenge OS and took the installer, and he actually has I think it's called the Nemesis installer, and it's sort of like the Antergos installer, where it'll actually give you a choice of which desktop environment you want. So like you have now not only have a choice of KDE, OpenBox, and Mate, but you now have a choice of XFCE and GNOME and the i3 window manager. Chip, what's happening? Chip, did you get a mic yet, man, or what? Yeah, hold on. Should be the same link, but let me get it here. So I'm gonna put this link out there. You guys save it because it'll probably be the same one every week. Zeb, what's going on?
Hiya. Is my mic working this week?
It is working perfectly, man. All right, so I got to move this out of the way, the VirtualBox thing now, because I will just undo that.
Hello.
Because Colin, what's happening, man?
How you going, Rocco? Hey, Zed.
Hiya. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Back for another Friday Night Live?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, did you guys try out the new Revenge OS? Come on.
No.
No.
Are you killing me?
I think I might be cured.
Come on. Well, this is pretty... Go ahead, Colin.
Sorry, Rocco. I'm still working on that video for data partitions.
Yeah.
That's taking a bit of time. This editing video is it's a bit of a toll, isn't it?
It is. Well, I still haven't put out a video. I don't think I put out a video in July yet. That's terrible, but just every single time that I have went to put out a video, something has gone wrong, and it's just so I just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna force anything, and we'll go from there. When it starts to become easier again, then we'll do it.
Hey, Rocco, you slacking?
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, it's me. I said, are you slacking?
I am slacking, Jeff. I'm sorry. I am slacking. And there is Frank.
Yeah, I ain't got to figure it out yet. My cam just stopped working, so.
Hi.
Your webcam ain't working, Chip?
Yeah, and I don't know. I've been working on it for more than a week now, and I can't get it to run, so I ain't messing with it no more.
Hey, it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth all the stress of it.
No, it's not at all.
So am I coming up here?
You are coming in low in volume wise.
Low.
Anyway, Jody James put out Revenge OS, and Toss. What's going on?
Hey, Toss.
Hey, Toss.
And it's no longer just open box. It's no longer Revenge Mate or Mate Revenge, or it's called separate things. It's just Revenge OS.
Hello.
And it's no longer just open box. Somebody's got the feed on. You got to mute it. Mate or Mate Revenge.
Who's got the YouTube sound on? Someone's got the YouTube sound on. You have to mute.
Yeah, not me. I've got mine muted.
All right. Well, you can. It's almost like the Intergos installer now. So you can install Mate, you can install KDE, you can install OpenBox, and now it gives you the options to install GNOME, XFCE, and i3 Window Manager.
Cool.
So it's pretty nice, actually.
And did it work first time?
I'm sorry, what? It's cool. It's Revenge OS now. It was renamed.
Revenge OS. Okay, yeah.
And did it work first time for you?
It actually did work the first time for me. Now, I installed the XFCE version, which I don't know why. I just picked that one to install.
You're getting the bug.
Because you're under pressure.
I am. I'm getting all this pressure to try XFCE. No, I installed the XFCE one, and it looks great, and it runs fabulous, dude. But I went to install the GNOME version then, and it wasn't anything to do with the installer. But when it lists all of your drives, I was able to pick every one of my drives and or partitions except for the very last partition of that drive, which is the one I wanted to install it on. So I could have installed it on another partition, but I didn't want to blow up those partitions that I had. So, oh well, I'll install the GNOME version later on something else.
There's always something about some distribution that just doesn't quite work when you try and do stuff, and I think that's possibly why I'm just going to give up. I've got a few now that work and work well, and I'm just going to stick with them.
Well, that's not giving up, man. That's totally different than giving up. That's just going with what works.
Yeah,
he's given up the DHA, hasn't he? He's given up the distro hopping. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's cured.
Yeah.
He's cured.
Yeah, I'm cured. Yeah.
So the hotline works.
Which OS is cured?
Well, I've got Peppermint installed, of course. I've got Solus OS, and I've got Ubuntu, which is just a English Bob's twist on Lubuntu, and that works quite well. And my Windows 10, and that's it. That's enough to. Oh, and I've got Manjaro, so that's enough to keep me. I can flick between those, and there's enough of a difference to keep my interest.
Yep, they're all good OSs anyway, I must say.
Well, I had Manjaro KDE, which I chose to write over to put on the Revenge OS Mate, and then I had Linux Mint XFCE, which I planned on making a video of it, and I actually tried. I started to make a video, and it just everything started to go wrong, everything. So I just stopped, and I ended up trying. That was the one I was trying to install the GNOME version of Revenge on. So I probably won't get that video either. Hey, what can I say?
Wow.
What is it about XFCE? I like XFCE. It's probably one of the most customizable desktop environments out there. You can just about do anything you like.
Well, it's lightweight, super lightweight.
And it's super lightweight, and you can put panels anywhere you like, in the corner, in the middle, use them as docks. You can pretty much do anything. So, but a lot of people say it doesn't look nice, but I think you can make it look nice.
Well, I mean, look, you're right. XFCE is very customizable. It's probably under KDE. It's probably the one of the most, and it runs great. Just some of the things about it are still stuck in older type systems.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, and I think that depends.
That's the only thing.
You come from. Yeah.
Yeah, but desktop 4. Or the XFCE 4.14 is coming along. And I know you shouldn't say the word soon where XFCE is concerned, but it's coming along.
It's coming along soon. We may see it by like 2019.
Yeah, soon within 2 years. It's right on schedule.
Well, because the joke
fun,
is on Destination Linux, I put XFCE on the other laptop. And I can see where he's coming from when he says that SFCE is a great little thing to play with. But I'm still liking this open bots on Arch Labs, so that's gonna be my primary driver, and the SFCE just be playtime.
I like it on Tergos. XFC is pretty fast. I was testing it.
I've never actually installed Interga's version of XSC. Do they do a lot of customizing on it or no?
Not a lot. Of course, the funny thing is, after I installed it, I installed the whisker menu, but it ran pretty smooth in a virtual box. I was very impressed, and the installer was newbie friendly. It had some tips, on what DE to choose. I think there's 6 desktop environments. I figured, well, let me choose something simple and light. I figured it'll install faster. And I mean, it's typical XFCE. I didn't see anything unusual. Well, if you want to count the fact that it was glitch free, maybe that's unusual. But first thing I did was install the whisker menu. I kind of like the whisker menu more than the standard XFCE drop down menu. I think because of the search function tab at the bottom. I think it's at the bottom. But in Antergos, I was impressed for an Arch-based distro. Smooth install, smooth running, no problems. I didn't try to install every single app that I use. It was more for testing.
Yeah.
Got it running. I mean, the installer's newbie friendly. Simple. That's the way it should be. So, yeah.
And have you had to do any updates on it yet?
I think I tried doing the updates once, and I didn't have any issues. I use whatever update package. What is it? Paymac, right? Something like that.
Yeah, Paymac.
Okay. Yeah, I follow the instructions, and it seemed okay. So as far, I mean, I don't know if it's for absolute newbies, but I will say the installer was pretty simple. It was simple.
The installer is very simple, very easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not much of a fan of Integros's versions of standard decorations, but of course you can always modify that later. Yeah,
there was nothing in terms of default fonts or decorations. I didn't see anything that stuck out, but that's okay. I was looking more for something to install easily and to work out of the box. That's number one, because you can always change it later. I mean, if you're looking for something that looks a little more snazzy or like more like decorations, like you say, I just installed them testing Netrunner. I think it's called Daedalus. That one looks pretty cool. I've always liked Netrunner for its looks, so yeah.
Netrunner, did you do the rolling one or did you do the Debian one?
Before I put the Integros on.
Not the rolling, no. It's the other one. What is it, Debian or Ubuntu based?
Debian based, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I chose because I'm so used to Debian or Ubuntu based, for 7 years now. The Antergos one, that's rolling, I think, isn't it? Not mistaken.
It is.
But yeah, I haven't installed Antergos in quite a while. What's the installer? Is it Calamaris or is it their own one?
Honestly,
it's not Calamaris.
I don't think so. I don't remember, but I don't think it's Calamaris.
I don't remember what installer they use, but it's not Calamaris.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Isn't it Cinchi? That's Cinchi, isn't it? Cinchi?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. And it's actually pretty nice. Got a few little things in it to, well, you got your choices of the desktop environments, which is always nice. But it's got 1 or 2 other things in it that are like customized to it.
And you do yourself a favor if you wait for that Cinchi thing to update. So you must wait for that to update before you install. Otherwise
you run into problems.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I won't be having any problems because after I installed it and I thought it was okay, fine and okay, I deleted it. So I won't have any problems. So I had to make room for Netrunner OS. So, but
You used to review Netrunner a lot, didn't you, Toss? I think
since the
quite a while
beginning,
ago?
since the beginning, I've always liked Netrunner. I mean, first it was the looks that caught my attention, but then navigating through the desktop, I think they've always used KDE as far as I can tell. And in the beginning, there was no rolling, version. It was either Debian or Ubuntu base in the beginning, which is what I was used to. So I felt comfortable. But they've always had a nice selection of apps. Works out of the box. One of the apps I got hooked on in the beginning, I don't know if it's installed by default now, is Stellarium. Study the stars and all that. That's a pretty cool looking app. But since the beginning, Netrunner has always looked pretty slick. And slick that works.
Never tried Netrunner.
Yeah, I think they lost their way when they went with, was it MUI or something? They changed over to KDE Neon from Kubuntu.
Neon, yeah. Yep.
But now they're back on what I have always thought they did well. They take Kubuntu and they tweak it and they make it really good. And now they're taking, or they have taken in the past, but they've brought it back again, Manjaro, and do the Netrunner rolling. So I don't know what that's going to have for New Runner, which allegedly took over Netrunner when it sort of went by the wayside. But 18 months later, they're back, so it's good.
They've always had cool looking default wallpapers too, as long as I can remember. Yeah, like futuristic, I don't often praise wallpaper, but what the heck? I'll give credit where credit is due. But
yeah, it's just not the normal run of the mill bird, flowers, fields, or something.
No, they snazz it up just a notch above the rest, and they installed a number of apps just above, what you would quote normally see. It seems okay.
What's that noise there?
I don't know what that is.
I heard a
Yeah.
Someone blowing up, I think.
It's live streaming. That's what it is, dude.
Sounds like somebody's washing their clothes or something.
I thought we were back on dial-up.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's that sound from the dial? Ding, oh, ee, oh. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know.
So are you going to be staying with Revenge for a while?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I installed it on a test drive. No, and look, there's only one reason I would actually, in my...
Feedback.
It worked so well, I would switch to it right now. If it wasn't for... there's certain programs that I have to have certain versions of, like that Zoom for the Destination Linux podcast. Other than that, I would switch to it right now.
What? And they're not available from the AUR? That's
yeah,
quite
Frank.
incredible.
That's your audio that's bringing that feedback. We don't hear you at all. Yeah, your mic. It's not. All we hear is like a static. There we go. Static's gone.
Yeah.
Can't hear you though. It's a pure end, dude. It does it all the time. But no, if I could get away with running Arch for a while, I would run Revenge OS. It looks that good. So, but I'm not going to, because like I said, I need certain things right now, and I just can't do without them. Although Zoom is in the repository, the AUR, it's not the version that I need. So.
Rocco, just admit it, you're a Mate man. Come on, come out of the Mate closet.
Come on, man. I'm a GNOME guy. I mean, I'm actually a KDE guy, but I've been running GNOME for the last 2 months.
All right.
So.
Okay. Well, KDE is okay. All right. You were a GNOME kind of guy?
I've been running GNOME for the last couple months, yeah, and it works perfect for me. I mean, it fits my workflow.
How many extensions did you have to install? Let me guess. 447.
No, let me open up my tweak tool and I'll tell you.
It's going to be more than 12.
Wait, your question is how many do I have to install, or how many do I have enabled? Because I have a lot installed to try out, but I only.
install? Okay, how many extensions enable to make it user friendly? Here, if you want a calculator, use my phone. Not a problem.
14, 15, 16.
Oh, see?
16.
Hey, Tom.
Wow.
Only
Tom.
16?
Only 16, dude.
You
No
beat
sound,
me.
Tom.
I had
No
only
sound.
12.
Look, Gnome, vanilla Gnome is unusable, dude. There's just no way to use it.
Well, duh.
And what base are you on?
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
It's still that Unity install that I installed Gnome alongside of, so.
All right, how's that? Am I here now?
Yep.
You're
Yeah,
here now.
You're here. Welcome.
Well, I mean, 16 extensions, do they all work?
And you know what? I don't use all of them. Like I have cover flow Alt Tab to make it look like Windows 7 type Alt
I
Tab.
don't
thing.
understand, no.
I don't need that. I mean, I have it on there, but a lot of these I was just trying out just to, see. And I never, there are some that you have to have. Like I have to have the sound input and output.
Yes.
User.
Yes.
Gotta have that.
Yes.
Top Icons Plus I gotta have because I don't want that stupid little thing in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use one that's called Pixel Saver so that it just puts everything together, shrinks it down so that it's not so...
I mean,
I have that half-inch title bar, do you?
Yeah. And there's dynamic panel transparency where it keeps the panel transparent unless you maximize a window and then it goes opaque.
And you've not
That's
mentioned
nice.
Dash to Dock?
Dash to Dock is like the premier extension.
So you could probably get away with a half a dozen minimum.
Yeah. I mean, I got caffeine installed. I don't really need caffeine.
I don't have that, no.
Auto move windows. I don't even know what that does, dude, but it's enabled.
Which one?
Auto move windows?
That moves your windows to Mate on some.
Yeah, I guess that's what that does. It moves it to another
I'm
desktop.
clueless.
Something like
Once you
that.
start talking about Fedora or GNOME 3, I just become clueless. I have no idea.
And I have one that is enabled that is a extension notifier. So if there's an update to any of the extensions, it will show a notification saying there's an update.
So after installing those 16, did it slow you down? Did you notice any performance?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right. I
You
guess
do
that's
have
good.
to watch if you do certain ones because some of them will crash GNOME. But the ones I have installed do not. So,
Okay.
But I have played with some that do.
Auto Move Windows enables you to specifically set a screen or a workspace for an application to open.
See, I don't even need that. Why is it even enabled? Did I install that? I don't even know
If
if
you're
I
someone who's
installed
got multiple windows and you always want your email on the left one, Auto Move to
guess-
Windows will do that for you.
that. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's
But it's like-
probably one of those ones I've tried, like saw that was sounded pretty cool and then tried it but never just forgot it was there.
Used it
Well, see-
once and then never did again.
Well, I mean,
Yep.
this is why I have Mate because I don't have to install any. I mean, besides my apps, there's no applets or extensions to install. It just works out
Right.
of the box. That's why I like it. I
Now,
mean,
are you on 1604 or
I know I updated to the Mint. What is it? The next
1704?
No, 1802, isn't it?
Are you on Mint or Ubuntu?
Oh,
I'm on Linux Mint.
Linux
okay,
Mint.
I
So you
got you.
18.2
That's
is
yes.
the new one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I did the upgrade. Crossed my fingers. It runs fine.
Yeah, mine worked great. I mean, my laptop every now and again I get a kernel panic, but I mean it's
it works out of the box. I mean, but see, they release when ready, not really on a schedule, and that's how it should be.
I think that's what kind of hurts Ubuntu at times is they have a solid schedule. They have a solid schedule. Apparently, my mic is dead.
No, we can hear you fine.
No, it went
No,
out.
I don't think
Frank,
it
I
was
think
That
it's
one
no
out.
problem.
Yeah.
Frank,
Now it's not working.
Now it's not. Yeah.
It's all good, Frank. It's all good. Don't worry
It's
about
those extensions. Get rid of those extensions. You'll be fine. Okay.
it. It's all good. So did you guys hear about Leary? So Hawaii Papyrus are merged to become Leary.
Yeah, that was a little while ago, was it, or was
Yeah.
that just recent? Yeah.
But have you tried Leary at all?
No, I've looked at
What
it.
it is?
It's
Is it an icon set? Is it a window manager? What is it?
no, it's an
It's-
operating system.
Yeah, it's an OS. It's
Oh.
a project, you know, the Leary project, I guess.
It's another fork.
It's a fork, yeah.
I mean, it all
Well,
gets forked up. Yeah.
It says here, since they have the same goals and share the same technology, they decided to join forces and merge.
Yeah, that was with Hawaii and Paparos.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if I've tried Leary yet. I've just kept an eye on it.
I was thinking about downloading and trying it.
How are you spelling Leary? Because nothing's coming up in Google.
L-I-R-I.
Well, I would be leery to try it.
Is that Frank talking? Is it?
Getting
I'm not
feedback.
sure.
Yeah. Sounds like alien transmissions.
Yep, that's what it sounds like.
One I've been watching for a very long time is one called Trenta. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Trenta, Trenta OS. They've been around for a very, very long time, but they had some bug that they couldn't get rid of for a long time, which I believe they may have, but they're still
Transmissions.
on the waiting list, I believe.
It says, what happened to their download file? Yeah.
I think they look a little bit like they look a little bit based like a little bit like elementary.
Yeah, there's nothing to download for Trenta at the moment.
No.
I did a live stream the other night, and somebody bought a Remix laptop, but it became obsolete when they got it because it wasn't being supported anymore, or they dropped the project.
Yeah, Remix is dead.
Oops, oopsie.
Yeah.
did
I
I
got
read-
that in the news section, yeah.
Yeah, did I read right as well? They're going to be giving all of their Kickstarter money back.
Yes, I read that too. That's right.
Wow.
So from remix to refund.
That's pretty much
Well, I have a theory. I have a
Refund
theory on
OS.
that.
Yes.
I have a theory on that. I believe that the Google Chrome has been making headway with their operating system, and that's quite heavily based, sort of like around Google products, I think. And maybe Google Chrome are going to be bringing out something else. Maybe I would say with the Play Store and everything, which I think Remix was trying to do, the Play Store and everything.
Yeah, but isn't Chrome working on something else right now? Some other project? Besides Chrome OS? I remember hearing one of the podcasts talk about it.
Yes, I think so. I think they are. And maybe they've decided that they're not going to get anywhere because Google Chrome's working on something else. Maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting thing that's happened there.
I've never
You
really
gotta-
tried these fringe OSs.
Bad, you did get a refund for your Mini from Amazon? Nice. Yeah, I'm not, I was, it doesn't turn me on to, like, Remix just never had anything for me, so I never even looked at it. Lyra I wouldn't mind seeing, because there's one thing to have something different, but Remix isn't exactly different. But there's another thing if you have something like Leary, which may be something like Elementary that is different. You know, and then you may want to take a look at it, you know, because maybe they're doing something different.
I actually think I might have tried Leary once before. I can't remember. I tried so many operating systems.
You ain't lying, man.
I'm just having a look at screenshots, but my internet's a little.
Yep. So is anybody running KDE right now?
I have it on my
Tom, your mic is not working, I don't think.
You were saying to us?
Oh, I have Kubuntu installed on my spare machine, spare desktop, and on this, I downloaded the Kubuntu desktop environment so I can log in and out, you know, between Mate and KDE if I want to. But on my spare machine, I have Kubuntu 17.4.
How's that?
It seems okay.
That's better. Good.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I was saying I'm on KDE. If you're still curious.
Yes.
Well, on my Toshiba, I have the KDE Neon.
Well, are you on KDE where you would get the latest Plasma 5.10.4?
I'm on Mint KDE, which is always kind of a crap.
Don't think it's the latest. On the Neon side, you will get the latest, I do believe. Not mistaken. If you choose,
stay with the LTS, I think.
Yeah. I'm on 5.8.7.
Well, it's 5.10 now. But on Neon, if you choose developer mode I think then there's the latest one. If you choose the LTS, then you will not get that one, I think.
Well, there's the LTS, which is 5.8, and then there's the user edition, which will give you the latest one.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the developer one that will give you the beta, the super beta.
That's like the rolling.
Yeah, that's like the really
Okay.
You don't really want to use that one.
I think I have that installed. So far, it hasn't crap, but that's just the spare machine I use. You know.
I was just wondering to see if 0.4 had made any difference as far as the bugs, because that's a bug fix release, and you know they kind of 5.10 was a little bit buggy, I have to say, and I was just wondering if they had fixed a lot of them.
Maybe Discover works on the latest one.
I don't think Discover's going to work ever, dude.
Discover is weird the way it looks. I don't like Discover.
Discover has a lot going for it. I mean, they've made it better, way better than it used to be. But it's got so much wrong with it that it's not even funny. So it's not even worth having.
Mate's got a great update manager. You know, simple.
Yep.
And really, if you know what you're doing, just download Synaptic and and update from there.
Well, I still have Mate on one of my. I still leave it on my test drive on one of the partitions, just so I have I hate to say it, but a go-to system in case something happens with my GNOME. Because if I go to, if something happens to my GNOME system and I need to record something, like for the podcast or whatever, I need something that's up and running and steady, and Mate is that.
So GNOME has found a home in Rocco's home.
I like GNOME. Everybody busts on it, but I like GNOME. I liked GNOME before Canonical decided to switch to it. So it was around, I don't know. It was a few months ago that I was running Intergos GNOME for a while. Then that was around Christmas, I think. So,
well, I'll never forget the immortal words of Linus Torvalds. GNOME is an unholy mess.
Well, I mean, it may be, but it has a good user experience.
Well, it was. I don't think it's that bad now. I mean, I joke about it, but it's not that bad. I just can't recommend it for newbies out of the box.
Well, you may have to change your mind on that because with Ubuntu or Canonical going to it as the default Ubuntu, newbies are going to get it regardless. So,
and I'm going to tell them no, don't go.
Well, there's always Ubuntu Mate, though. You know,
you can have a GNOME
experience
on. You can have a GNOME experience on XF. So yeah, if you install the XF dashboard, that does exactly what the GNOME overview does.
Yes, Colin, that does exactly what the GNOME dashboard does, and yet it still looks like it's 1990s.
That's why I don't like XFCE. It just looks so old to me.
It does, man. I'm sorry. Everything that it does, look, it's capable. It runs great, but everything that it tries to do, and I don't know if that's just because of the underlying technology that it's built on or whatever it may be, GTK2, I don't know. But everything that you try to do with it, it still looks like it's
But
10 years ago.
You guys are confusing simplicity with outdatedness, maybe. I don't know.
No, because Mate is not the same. Mate looks good and is simple. But XFCE is outdated, man.
Yeah, I run XFCE on my little Lenovo laptop just because it's just a tiny little Atom computer, and I love Peppermint. I like that, and then of course I run Cubes, and those are both XFCE, and so I'll use it. It's just it looks old. It just does. I think Peppermint does one of the best jobs of theming out XFCE that I've seen.
Well, let's just say for an absolute newbie between Noma or XFCE, you guys figure it out. So.
I'd say XFCE for a noob. Absolutely.
For a newbie.
Yeah.
Now, once they get
I would agree.
experience, they want to slick it up as it were. Yeah, absolutely.
I just think GNOME to me looks so much like Mac OS, and I hate Mac OS.
Yeah, but it's not like GNOME is. It's not like GNOME is hard to use. Like I would suggest it for a new person coming to Linux, not because of anything other. But it looks great. It looks like a modern operating system. It just is different in the way it works. So XFC is more the traditional, you got a menu here and you got your favorites here, and GNOME is different in that area, but it's not like it's hard to use or it's hard to pick up.
It's hard. It's hard for an absolute newbie because they're not, because
it's so different.
Right. That one night I did a live stream. I forget what I call the Windows user versus GNOME, whatever, and I had Ubuntu GNOME. So I thought, let me just try and experiment and see, okay, let me see if I can make this user friendly. And we talked about, you have 16 extensions. I think I did between 10 and 12 to make it maybe more to the way I like it. But I started, I got to have that extension. I got to have this extension. I got to do that. Now, I know what I'm looking for. And a newbie, unless they follow a tutorial from one of us or whatever, they're not going to know. So what's going to happen is if you have a newbie to Linux, oh, I've heard about GNOME. Let me just download it, run it out of the box, and it's not that user-friendly. What do you think that that Windows guy will say? Linux sucks. Well, maybe in that specific situation, because they chose the wrong distro. But I think to play it safe for a newbie, try XFCE, try Mate, Zorin Lite. I think that one is based on XFCE. Just to get started.
I think Zorin's GNOME actually. It's just really themed.
Zorin.
No, they've gone
regular
Zorin Lite.
Zorin Lite. Oh,
Zorin Lite. Sorry. Yeah. No, they switched to GNOME, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It looks slick, but for beginners, I can't recommend it. But Zorin Lite 12.1. Sorry, that one I believe is XFCE polished.
It is.
Again, for newbies, strictly for beginners to get started. Because I don't want a newbie to say Linux sucks.
Well, that's why I'd point them to Linux Mint Cinnamon, because it's just especially if you're coming from the Windows environment, it just feels so natural.
I never got. There's something about Cinnamon that's not quite polished or there yet. It looks good. It looks good, but there's something about the Mint menu that I really like. It's simple, but but not looking outdated. It's lightweight. All of the applets work with the Cinnamon with the not extensions. What they call them, spices or whatever they call them.
Cinnamon spices.
In the past, it seemed like half of them didn't work.
No,
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that they really changed with the 18 series, is they really went through. I think it might have been 18.2 actually, as they came through and they cleaned everything up.
Okay.
So
Well, that's
hopefully
good.
that should be better.
That's good.
That's one of their highlights.
Spice's website is fantastic now.
Yeah.
It's really been modernized, I must say.
And it was, like you said, it didn't seem like they worked. They just didn't work most of the time.
Yeah,
But now they do.
didn't work.
They had to do something. Look, I started off with Ubuntu 6 back in 2006. It wasn't polished. I mean, it was just, it was somewhat fairly newly born. I think it was 04, 05. But I stopped using Linux for a while, but then Linux Mint came along. Then I started to get interested again. Then from there, I went to Zorin. And I think at 1 year, I call that the de facto Linux desktop for the future for newbies or something like that. Of course, today you have more choices, but when Zorin switched to GNOME, not for newbies, can't do it. Can't do it, Zorn. Go back to where you were. You know.
Well, Shane said in the comments that the best looking Linux desktop environment is KDE, Mate, and then LXQT. I'd have to disagree. I would say
Wow.
Elementary is the best looking.
Gross.
Elementary is the best looking desktop environment out there.
It's slick. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm sorry, I like GNOME. Okay, but
GNOME is good looking too. If you know what you're
KDE
doing.
can be made to look absolutely awesome. So they would be my top 3.
I reckon one of the main things when it comes to when we moved from GNOME 2 to GNOME 3, I think that's when all the issues started when it comes to desktop environments. GNOME 3 to me took the fun out of Linux because just you could customize all your panels and you could do all your moves, you could do your applets and all that. And when they started doing this fixed panel on top and so forth, I think that's where people got really annoyed. That's just removed the fun out of it all. And I think that's where a lot of the issues have come in with all these desktop environments now. But that's my point of view. Anyway.
No. When doing all the work, it's like one step below Arch for newbies, you know. But, it looks great. I totally agree, Rocco. It looks slick when you get it all running, but it doesn't quite look that way out of the box, obviously. But it can be customized, sure.
Yeah, but I think, Colin, you have a point there, though. There's a lot of people left over from the GNOME 2 era that lost that ability to customize everything, and they didn't care. They kind of moved towards like an elementary type thing or like a Mac OS thing where you can't customize a whole lot. And it's only been recently that these more extensions have come out, and more extensions have come out, the tweak tools and everything else. So, when GNOME 3 started out, it was like you couldn't do anything.
That's right.
And it turned a lot of people off.
I think so too.
There's a new poll up. I think Ubuntu wants to know what are the default apps for Ubuntu 18.4. Well, the first default app should be Mate Desktop, but no.
They're not.
All right, so let's go through this. So
at least they're listening. At least they're taking my advice,
The survey
I tried to go through that list, but I couldn't think of all the apps I wanted.
Okay, so the survey is web browser. So what would you guys choose for the default web browser? And it doesn't say that you can only choose one. It just says to do it in order. So if you want Chrome, Firefox, Vivaldi, you can do that.
I do Firefox.
Chrome.
Yeah.
It's faster. Firefox Linux sucks.
The problem I have with Chrome and Chromium itself, I mean, I use Chromium here right now, but I mean, I moved to Linux for the privacy thing, and I don't like Google being the owner of the biggest web browser we put on a Linux distro.
Yes,
you're right.
Once you get on the web, take it from New York. Forget privacy. Once you get on the web, forget about it.
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe, but it depends on what you're doing in your implementation. Because like this computer here still has a lot of the, all the add crap on it because I haven't deployed my scripts, but I've deployed my scripts on all my other computers, and I mean, there's way less tracking than there could be.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, Chrome is the track master of the world, I suppose. But I just like Chrome both in Linux. It runs faster. Well, it runs faster more so in Linux. I can't say Chrome is necessarily faster in Windows 10 than Firefox, but at least for me, it just seems. I mean, I like Firefox in general, but I like Chrome. I do use Chromium. I like Opera, and sometimes I use Cubzilla just for pure speed.
Firefox will catch up as soon as all of the add-ons have caught up to this multiprocessor, because you have to disable everything for it to work.
Well, then it becomes less user-friendly.
Well, plus with the legacy add-ons going away, that's going to make it even worse, dude. All right, so Seb, what would you choose for the default web browser?
Opera.
Firefox.
Colin?
Chrome. I use Chrome because I log into Chrome and got a good sync happening there. So every time I update my favorites, they're always there. But if I use Firefox, which I don't mind doing, I'm going to log into Chrome anyway. So what's, you might as well just use their features.
What software based off? I can't remember.
Chromium.
Okay, that's all right. All right.
Frank? Your mic's not working.
I think he said Google Chrome.
Spell it with your finger.
Just put it in chat, Frank. Put it in chat. All right, so we got, I think, 4, because Chip chimed in. He wants Chrome, so that's 4 Chromes and 2 Firefoxes. All right, what about email clients? And they specified that you could use a online type. You could choose to have it be an online type Microsoft Exchange server type email choice.
I guess Thunderbird's okay, but I haven't used one. I haven't used it in a while. You know.
Well, there's
Thunderbird
Geary,
works
there's
really
Evolution,
well.
there's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Alan, what's going on?
I'm not.
Your mic's not working, Alan.
Is it not?
Oh, there it
It's
is.
fine. Yeah.
Oh no, I just wasn't saying anything. Sorry,
Oh,
that's
okay.
weird.
Yeah.
I just kind of smiled awkwardly.
When I'm on Linux, I use Gmail because I still have Outlook on my Windows 10 laptop.
So you don't use a desktop email. You just use the browser.
I just use the browser and Gmail, as I say, because as soon as I go onto Windows, I've got 8 years of emails in PST files and stuff, and it just takes forever to bring them into Thunderbird, so I've never bothered.
What was I looking at? I know it's a paid thing, but it works on Linux. It's an email client that does all of the Microsoft emails, Exchange, Hotmail, and all them stuff. I think it's called
I
Hiri.
actually...
Is it Geary?
I did that.
No, it's Hiri, Hiri, I think. And like I
Clever.
said,
They got that dodgy
it is a
spelling.
paid app, but it does work on Windows and Linux.
No.
It only
Don't know.
covers
Okay.
Microsoft emails, but I'm just saying if you needed it, Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
I did someone's Microsoft emails Microsoft Outlook for free from their Windows 10, and after I reinstalled, I put them into Thunderbird, and now I'm just trying to remember how I did that.
I get all my emails from my phone nowadays because it's just a lot more convenient, you know. But
Yep.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
and
what do
Hiri-
we have? A couple no, I'm voting for Thunderbird because it
Yeah,
looks terrible.
I'm gonna go
but
Thunderbird, although it's not my personal preference. I think it's the most universal. I prefer Evolution actually, but I think it's more complicated for probably Ubuntu's target.
yeah, well, Thunderbird's tried and true, man. It just works with no problems, no issues.
It works well with Outlook Online as well.
And it's
Whenever you move
multi-platform,
around-
right? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that Hiri is $5 a month or $40 annual.
Yeah, but like I said, I know it's a paid app, but it does work with Linux, and it is a desktop email if you're looking for one.
I'll be right back.
All right, so what about the terminal? What terminal client would you use? Would you have it default?
GNOME.
Colin?
I don't. Well, whichever terminal comes with the operating system on it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, there's other ones out there. There is Tilix. There's Terminator. There's a couple different ones out there, but they're looking to find out which ones the best ones are. So
The one you can type in, Rocco?
the one that works, is that what you're saying?
I'd say Terminator. That just sounds great. I mean,
Terminator.
Terminator's good, except it's really difficult to set your window size.
It is.
You have to start it, or you have to edit some INI file where you say how many pixels wide and high you've got. Whereas with GNOME Terminal, you just go into Appearance and you set 142 by 42 or whatever you want, 20 by 20.
Yeah.
And it just remembers it, and it's easy to, colorize stuff. Whether it's any good as a terminal for the experts, I don't know, but for the average user, I find
Terminal. I think my favorite terminal is the Orlando International Airport. That's my favorite.
I don't like any airport. I've never flown, actually.
Orlando's got a pretty nice looking sweet air. I mean, but as far
I'm going there and avoid Omaha's airport.
Where?
It
Where?
depends whether you,
Omaha, that like their airport is built like an idiot because like I literally had a connecting flight through Omaha. Well, they separate their terminals. You literally have to leave security and go back into security to make your connecting flight.
That's not user friendly at all.
No, and I had like less than an hour, so of course I'm rushing through it, and so I get screen randomly selected for extra screening because I'm like in a hurry.
Talk about a bad extension. Jeez, come on.
Yeah.
Well, I personally use Tilix, so that's the terminal I choose to use. It's pretty nice.
I'm not a terminal guy, so yeah.
It got a lot of it's got a lot of features to it. It's got a drop-down menu that you can choose to use.
That's cool.
IDE.
Is it easy to configure?
It is
What's
easy.
IDE?
It's almost like Tilda in the preferences, where you just set what you want it to be. The only thing that I've found with Tilix that I don't get or can't figure out is it starts up. Like when I log into the computer, I will have a window of a Tilix window open. I have to close it.
Well, I think everybody has Wakaki terminal. I can't pronounce
Yakwake or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Quake. That's a drop-down terminal. Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce? That sounds so much better than Yakiwaki.
I have no idea how it pronounce it. It's another Linux name that you can't.
It sounds like a city. It sounds like a city in Peru or something.
Yeah, they're all like that for some reason.
IDE. No idea.
What's IDE?
I have no
is that
idea.
the hard drive? Is that the hard drive?
No, it's not the hard
Are
drive.
we talking like Java development, or is this like?
All right, we'll skip that one. We'll go to the file manager. Which file manager should be the default file manager in GNOME?
Totally Nautilus. It's
Nemo. Nemo is the best.
I like
Nemo's pretty fantastic.
So one for Nautilus, one for Nemo.
Oh, that was a joke.
I got Nemo as well.
Oh, two for Nemo.
3 for Nemo.
I
mean,
mean, 3 for
as
Nemo.
far as file managers in general, they say Dolphin's the best.
Dolphin is totally the best file manager.
Dolphin doesn't fit in with like anything
I don't know.
KDE right now.
I think that it may just be my Linux Mint computer, but my Dolphin runs like it swims like it's got a dead fin or something. And this thing's on an SSD, man.
Subjective.
I'm not that picky for file manager, to be honest. Yeah.
Dolphin is absolutely awesome, but they would never put it in a GNOME install, so there's no sense of even
That's true.
putting it out there. So,
It would stick out like a sore thumb.
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
So if I had my choice, I would probably go with Nemo myself. So.
Yeah, well, it's got open as root by default, which I think Dolphin doesn't, does it? You got to add that, I remember.
Well, no, it doesn't anymore. They disabled that, and I was reading about that, and I was very upset when they pulled that out of there. But apparently, now I don't have KDE installed anymore to try it, but apparently when you go to make an operation that you would normally need root with, like copy folders you don't have permission to do, it will bring up a password box and allow you to enter the password and allow you to do the operation anyway. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what they say happens. So
that would be much better. That would be much better. And that's one of the things I like about Peppermint. When you
it's not like fully functional right now, from my experience.
The minute you try to go to save something or do anything, it pops up the password. And a classic example of that is the NVIDIA settings. You go to save it into an X11, and you think, oh, bugger, I didn't open it up as root. Press enter, type in your root password. Yep. Much, much better.
Yep.
All right, basic text editor.
Ooh, exciting.
Exciting stuff here.
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite text editor? Anybody? Does anybody here, out of 6 of us, care about the basic text?
No, I use whatever's the default on the system. I've never thought about adding another text editor.
In terms of text editors, for just like basic stuff, like it's like saying like what text editor should come default on Windows. So I guess anyone who's really going to be using it is going to install something else. Like they all have the same basic function. You know, if you make an HTML file and open it, it's going to give you the coloration. Same thing with bash scripts. It's going to give you all the same basic stuff, just a little different layout.
Yeah, well, I mean, normal people, normal everyday users aren't worried about what the text editor is. As long as it opens their text documents, they don't care. It's more of a developer thing where you're getting into scripts and bash and all that
I'd
stuff.
say like I think what Windows has done decent, dare I say it, is they have a notepad and a word pad, and of course you can get your Office or whatever, which has a degreeing layer of features. Like I don't want a default text editor that is like WordPad because that would drive me crazy. There are a lot of times I simply want something like Notepad. It has no options. It has no text formatting. It has nothing. Just give me text and that's it. And so as long as the text editor is text and that's it, I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Every OS I install LeafPad because that's what my fingers do now. Even though I've got Pluma on Peppermint, it's finger memory. I
can't think of the last time I used a freaking text editor, to be honest. But
yeah, I'm a web developer, so I use them daily.
I had to change something in the app sources once, or add to it, or something. But
I mean, even me, like when I'm doing
necessarily know
like
about
stuff in Python and whatnot, I'm sitting there and just like
boring. That was boring.
Next, and I know I'm punishing myself by doing it, but I
put it in the terminal
just what I'm used to doing. I can't be bothered to really go in and configure something that I don't need, but it would just make my life easier in the long run.
All right, IRC or messaging client?
HexChat seems to be just fine.
Can't say
There's really only two major ones, right? HexChat and Pigeon.
Yeah, I've never used IRC. I don't think ever.
It's been years. I think when we did the Sunday Night News and Nonsense with Spatry 2 years ago,
really rocky.
3 years ago.
Certain parts of it that are really nice and solid and great, and then other parts of it are just kind of on the rough waters and stuff. I'm not sure about that.
Next, PDF reader.
Well, in Windows, I kind of like what's it called? Foxit, I think. Foxit, something like that. In Windows.
I use Archer in Windows.
Foxit was for Windows, yeah.
It's fast. I don't know about Linux.
GNOME comes with a PDF reader, doesn't it? Like a generic PDF?
I think it's
just,
by
like
default, but I forget which one.
Document viewer.
Document viewer, yeah, that's what it is.
Document viewer is the main one.
Document viewer, okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't do anything with PDFs except open them. So some people will edit them, some people will do more detailed things, but I just open.
Yeah, Linux Mint also has Document Viewer installed by default. So.
All right, Office Suite.
LibreOffice.
I don't use. I mean, I have, but I think. What was the other one that?
Only Office, is it? WPS.
There's one
WPS, Open
Office. That's the one.
Or Only Office.
WPS. I think you or Rob did.
The problem with WPS is it's got a crazy EULA to it, and it's not even really moving towards a system that. Like, it seems like it's not even moving towards a free system anymore. It's definitely not open source. And their EULA even says it is like a violation of their terms to even attempt to reverse engineer it. And then if and it's not even necessarily going towards a free model either, apparently.
Well, I got 4 euros. Who cares?
It's not compatible with LibreOffice either. It's not compatible with No, it's not. It's compatible with Windows, with Microsoft Office. But it's not
I know
compatible.
that's their demographic because they're kind of building it out to look like Office with the ribbon and stuff.
I don't know.
What's the Only Office?
Only Office.
Only Office.
But there's one more. There's one more besides that. Linux. I don't think it's Only. I can't think of it.
I'm sure it was Only Office was the newer one that was coming out.
Okay, maybe that's it. I don't know. I tried WPS.
I looked at Only Office once.
Yeah.
Run your own Office with the Only Office.
All right, so I don't know if anybody cares about the calendar.
Not sure what it's all about.
Which calendar app should be installed? Who cares?
The one that
I don't think most people really even use it.
All right, so how about a video
one with
player?
The weeks.
Yes.
I want a month view. That's all I want. Okay, a month view.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Yeah, right.
Video player. Which video player?
MPV. I like MPV.
Hasn't that just died?
EMP.
MPV's now been stopped.
It's
Well,
actually a
surprised.
car, but no.
I just recently started liking
Has it
MPV
really
too.
MPV? It's in Solus.
Well,
Phone
so
The
MPV.
development of it is now finished. I'm sure I read it on a stream somewhere yesterday.
What's in Linux Mint? Let me
Well,
see.
SM Player is my favorite video.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was going to say
that's a
SM
good one.
Player. Yeah.
I don't
You know,
have that
I'm-
installed, but that's a good one.
I'm wondering if VLC wouldn't be the logical choice, just as
That's
a
what
good
I use.
around.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but it's always ends up on every system that I have.
It's
because of
reliable.
its versatility.
It's just reliable.
You know, even on my phone, I don't even use the built-in apps. I use VLC
Yeah,
because I
on
can
my
stream
phone,
off
I
of my
like
media
yeah.
server.
In Windows, I like it. In Mint, they have it. It's called Media Player by default, I think. But I have VLC.
Mint,
I
yeah.
find
yeah,
I get
Mint
too many
has,
pixelations with it.
its own thing, its own video player, which is really lightweight. Actually, I use that,
Ah,
just for basic stuff. But as
Okay.
far as streaming something out of my NAS, I use VLC usually,
That's one of
or
the X
Kodi,
apps, right?
but we don't want to do Kodi for sure.
Mint, that's an X app, right?
Yeah.
it might. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
X video.
Zeb, what would you pick?
I'd pick SM Player
SM Player. Okay, good.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah.
because with VLC, I just find it pixelates too often, and I'm having to change the blend and whatever the other bits and pieces
I've
are.
had issues. Yeah.
And I also don't like the default key layout on VLC, so I have to spend about an hour changing all that. SM Player just works for me.
Yep. All right. How about music player?
Clementine.
Rhythm Box.
I always go Rhythm Box.
Oh. Clementine is good. Yeah.
Or if you want a really lightweight one, Dead Beef.
Yes.
Tom?
This is the.
This is
I'm
why we
gonna
talk
go
about
with
this stuff.
Clementine. My preferred is actually Banshee, but there's been moving away from Banshee. I don't like Rhythm Box as much because it feels too much like iTunes to me, and I don't like using those types of cloud type things, and so I generally don't like Rhythm Box. However, if I'm doing any podcasting stuff, that's what I use. So of all of the major ones, I'd say Clementine.
Well, Banshee does videos too, right? I think.
It does. Well, I've never had good luck playing videos on Banshee. I always get crazy green bars that I can't get rid of. But what I like about Banshee is it has a look and a feel exactly like Windows Media Player.
Yeah.
And I've spent a better part of a decade and a half, not doing music, but building a massive sermon collection. And I like folder organization that I have, and it works perfectly with Banshee. It doesn't work with most other players that want to go online and update stuff, and that just causes a rough mess in my stuff. So.
Let us pray.
Colin?
I like that player that's called Default. So whatever's default with the operating system.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm like, what? I didn't hear that right. I'm like,
Music
what?
players, though, really, Rhythm Box has been the one lately,
Well,
But
me
I like
personally-
Clementine. My time on playing with OpenSUSE, I really liked Clementine.
Well, the first time I downloaded Clem, I was playing music, and I thought it was raining because I kept hearing rain. And there's in the drop-down menu, there's a default rain file, audio file. I guess to help you follow. I'm playing. I'm like, what am I hearing rain from?
Alan, did you say Clementine?
No, I typically just use Rhythm Box.
Alan's gone, I think.
Box.
Yeah, Alan's gone. Yeah.
I usually disable stuff like Last.fm and all the online radio stuff because I just import my 18,000 music files and just let it select them, and I wait for the lag to stop and then shuffle everything.
Okay, so yeah, Frank says everyone's Googling default. It's true though.
Well, it's
All right,
Linux,
so
so
me
anything's
personally,
possible, right? Yeah.
me personally, I would, if I had my choice for a music player, it would be G Music Browser.
I think
It's
I
one of
tried
the-
that once.
It's one of the most customizable players out there. It is. I don't even know if it's being developed anymore. I'm not sure, but it is handles large libraries, and it's one of the most customizable ones out there. And that's the one that I would go to if I needed to play music files that were on my computer. I usually use the Google Music Player to play music, but if I'm going to use a desktop player, that's going to be it.
Been
My kind of
testing something
issue-
called Sayonara Player. That's pretty cool. That's the name of it, Sayonara. Yeah,
That's
I've seen
awesome.
that somewhere.
Sayonara
My kind
Player.
of
Yeah.
issue using like Google Music plays. At one point, I had a whole
that
bunch
mean
of
you
stuff
open it, it's
uploaded
no
there
longer
that I
there?
could just
Or-
play the files wherever it was.
Sayonara?
But the issue that I have now is that I don't have anything on there.
Okay, next.
So if I wanted to get everything on there, it would
Can
take
nobody
me
hear
a few years.
Alan?
No, I can't.
Oh,
See
it
him
must be
on
the
here.
storm.
He's not even on. He's not even on appear in.
No, he's on Appear In, and I can hear
No,
him.
he's not.
I mean, he is.
It's sputtering. Yeah.
He is. I'm laughing because
He's,
you guys can't hear him, but I can hear him. He's talking.
No, we can't hear or see a thing.
Must be the storm, he said. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right.
His
So
audio gives a lot of feedback too, I must say, when he's on. It gives. I think it's Alan that gives a lot of some sort of scrunching noise in the background.
Latest version of G Music browser was released in 2005.
Oh, that's secure.
no, come on. It's been updated since.
I'm
then.
sorry, 2015. Excuse me, 2015.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been updated since then. Come on.
We're getting a little dyslexic today.
But
That's
it's
a
been
little
forked
better.
a couple times. As
2 years ago, yeah.
All right.
It's been
that's
forked
still
by
a
the
little
Shiver project.
Okay.
So it
Gonna say it
has
had
been.
more luck with default.
It has seen some updates, but not recently. So, but it is still really good.
Okay.
But another one you may want to check out if you want a good music player that handles large libraries is Quod Libet.
I like that one too.
That
yes.
was a really good one.
Mhm. Simple to use. I like
What's
that
the
one.
name? Sorry. What was the name? Sorry, Rocco.
Quod Libet. I will spell it in the-
QUOD. Quadlibe. Let's have some class here. See what I'm saying?
I call it Guadalupe for some reason.
Guadalupe. That's a country, Guadalupe in Peru, whatever. No, it's Quadlibe.
No, that I think is a different one. Zach.
Oh.
I think that's actually a different music player.
Well, there's one with the Guaca. I can't say it.
I just put it in chat as far as how to
Guayaki.
spell it. So
Guayaki.
check that one out.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody care about a photo viewer?
What do I have for photo view?
Yes.
One of them is not good. I forget
Default
which one it
photo viewer for Ubuntu 1804. Don't all speak at once, okay? Don't,
is. Yeah.
You know, I like just the basic default simple ones with no extra crap.
you ain't lying.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
I'll use GIMP if I want to,
GIMP is
change
okay.
any photos around or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
GIMP is okay. Yeah.
but as far as viewing a photo, I don't want all the options. I just want to open it and see the photos. All right. So how
I
about
think-
screen recording?
Yeah, there are some that do better. Screen recorder, simple screen recorder.
I use that. I use Kazam. I use OBS. That's it.
Yeah, I do simple screen recorder for a basic. If you need something, if you need it to do more stuff, I think you'll install OBS. But I think
And
for
OBS
default-
is so easy to install on Ubuntu anyway.
So, okay, but so your choice be OBS or would it be a simple screen recorder for the default?
If
For
I had to
default,
pick one,
simple screen recorder.
OBS, because did live streams with it, it comes in handy. So
Well, I would vote for OBS, although I will admit that it would probably be easier for people to use Simple Screen Recorder just because it is simple to use. And OBS is not exactly simple to learn.
I think OBS is too niche to have as a default program for a what is targeted towards. I'm kind of trying to base my answers based on what they're targeting it for.
Yeah.
So I would do simple screen
Well,
recorder.
if it's for beginners, you can't do OBS. It's too much. Simple or Kazam, probably even better for newbies. But yeah, I would say.
I mean, even though I said simple screen recorder, I've never been able to stream to YouTube with it.
No.
English Bob did.
Yeah, I know he
English
did.
Bob,
And there's
yeah.
one of you that does. Don't Call Me Lenny
Yeah.
does. But I followed all the YouTube tutorials. Just doesn't work. Not for me anyway. I can't do it. But hey, this is the guy who didn't know Symlinks.
Did you figure out the sim links?
I did after I read the technical manuals that Serge sent through. I knew his links were never going to be simple. Because this is the man who told me to watch some YouTube videos to learn how to use Gentoo. And they were in French. And he said, but the commands are in English. You can read the commands on the screen. So I said, yeah. So I misinterpret the command for delete all. Install an application. Because I don't know delete all is in French. And it's like, seriously? So yeah, they were hard. They were a hard slog, but yes, I've got Simlinks working now. So my Euro Truck Simulator works across every distribution I've got installed.
Anytime you need any information on a certain topic, Serge always comes through with links and YouTube videos and everything else. So
very knowledgeable man.
I actually worked out, Zed, that you don't need a Simlink for the Steam folder anyway. If you go into Steam and you go to the settings, you can actually select the folder that's on a separate partition and just attach that as the default, and then it'll bring all your games in.
Correct, but that's not where your profile sits. Your profile sits in .local. So I've already got all my games installed on a Q drive. Yeah?
Yeah.
But if I want to play Euro Truck Simulator on 4 different distributions, I was having to copy the profile from the last one that I played it on into the new folder on the distribution I was using. Whereas now I just Simlink to the default Peppermint Steam profile, and that's where all of your settings are kept and the gameplay and how far you've got.
Okay. And
you can blame English Bob for that.
All right, so I've been ignoring the chat. So Eric said about Google Docs for the Office, and we got to vote for VLC for the video player, and Shotwell for the photo viewer, I guess.
That one's okay. Yeah, that one's all right.
Shotwell's a good one, yeah.
Shotwell drives me crazy because it's like every time I plug the phone, it's like, do you want to import pictures? No, I can manage it myself, thank you. I don't like automation always.
Tom, less caffeine. You should be okay. Less caffeine. I feel like I'm talking to Spatry Part 2. Kind of Spatry or something, you know.
Have you uploaded another Spatry one, have you, Toss? Was that the last one you uploaded?
Oh,
another one or only one?
A couple nights. I did like some of the best of the news and nonsense. There were so many good. You know, we started doing them 5 years ago. And you know you got something good. Where 5 years later, I'm still laughing. Some of you are still laughing at the
I was laughing
like
crazy the other night.
I hope he's okay. We haven't done one since last year, but there's something about them that they're just like instant classics. And none of those were really scripted. We just had news articles, and we just shoot away. And it's just something that clicked. But I did one, I think last night, or night before, I lost track. I did one last week for like 20-some minutes. Then I did a shorter one for like 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, so you have got a second one up, yeah.
Yeah, that was a quick live one, yeah, because there was such good a response. I mean, I could go back and probably spend a whole week doing the best of, but they were good. I mean, I'm still laughing, and so were you, evidently. So
I used to listen to that religiously, to be honest, every week.
They were Sunday nights, 8 p.m. on the. Well, first they were on the Linux distro community, then on the Mumble server of his, and yeah, they were good.
Someone's got a really loud keyboard.
Yep. All right. So I guess that's the end of the survey. Well, I put a link in the chat if you guys want to go give them your thoughts on.
Well, there should have been one more for
send it.
Desktop environment.
Did you not click send?
Yeah, no, I did.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it in again. It's all good.
Saves us having to do it then.
Right there. There you go. It's in. So you should vote because, you know, I mean, they did the same thing with 1704 or 1710 with a survey on, you know, asking people what they wanted. So they definitely are listening.
They did one on GNOME extensions as well, didn't they?
That's what it was. Yeah, GNOME extensions. what should be the default. So they're definitely listening to what people have to say. So, and of course, Unity 8 just won't die. So you got this fork called Unit, Y-U-N-I-T, Unit, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And now they have a repository available for Ubuntu 16.04 that you can add, and you will be able to run Unity 8, apparently. If you really want to run Unity 8.
Is it worth a try, you think? Isn't that the one that looks a little bit like a phone interface, isn't it? I think Unity 8, isn't it? It's a bit like a phone interface.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never tried it because I have Unity installed on this install, but I was never able to log into Unity 8. Every time I tried to log in, it just went to a black screen or didn't log in, actually. It just went back to the login screen. So I can't tell you. I've never actually logged into Unity 8.
No, if I was watching somebody
it was pretty ugly. It was pretty bad. I got
well,
in there
apparently there was a
eventually.
big following that they wanted it because they forked it. So
Yeah. My biggest problem with Unity was I've got so many disk drives attached and so many partitions that panel on the left just used to look like an accordion in the bottom left-hand corner with the disk drives just
you're right.
piling up.
You're right. I had to uncheck them, remove them from the panel because that was ridiculous. Unity puts a launcher on the left-hand side there for every single drive you have on your system.
Yeah.
And if you got a lot of drives, there's a lot of icons there. So I did have to remove them. So I guess nobody cares about the unit.
No, because it's not the official Ubuntu Unity. So, but I had Unity for years. It was great for me. So, but it's gone. It's gone from my desktop.
It's there. Why unit?
Well, it's gone officially from Canonical. I'll put it to you that way. It's gone from the father. Yes, it's gone from the fatherland.
Yeah. What, Tom? What KDE are you running? Is it that still 17.3, or are you on 18 on your Mint KDE?
I think I'm on 18.0 maybe. Let me find. I remember what this one's on. I think I'm just on 18.0. I've been debating if I want to scrub this drive and install something else on it. It's just, I love the look of it. It's just, it runs like a 286 and the thing's on an SSD.
Wow.
Oh, it's slow.
Serge will help you.
What's that?
Go Gen 2. Serge will help you.
Not going Gen 2.
Why wouldn't you install? I mean, you have Peppermint 7, I think, on another. Why wouldn't you try Peppermint 8 on there?
This one's like my media computer, so I like it to be a little flashier, a little newer.
Right.
I ran Ubuntu on here for a while before that drive died. Actually, what I have that I keep on telling myself I'm going to do is I have Debian right here that I think I'd like to run for a while. It's just the time it's going to take me to set the thing up.
Yeah.
It's like I logged into it. It's like networks. No, I think networks were working, but I couldn't access my media shares for my files and a lot of other things. So,
well, if you want a good KDE Debian, go the new Netrunner.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not married to KDE either. I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. I like the look of the desktop so much. It's just kind of cool looking, but maybe it's getting stale by now.
I liked in Cinnamon they had a menu called the configurable menu, and that was absolutely brilliant. It worked in 17.3, and then 17 I think, or 17.1, and then it broke after that, and it was one of the best menus. And if you got bored with your desktop, that thing you could just change around at any time and make it look like anything you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a Makulu Linux on a virtual box that looks exactly like Windows 10. It's pretty sweet. But it's based on Cinnamon, and they use the configurable menu.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Lindo's. Lindo's.
Windows. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his.
I was going to say, if you like the look of your desktop, Tom, just take a snapshot, save it as wallpaper, put it on the next one. You're good to go.
Well, actually, everything is actually just pulled directly from the KDE repository, so I could probably rebuild it easy.
Okay.
I even did a video on it, so I could probably walk through my own video and figure it all out again. I mean, in retrospect, running Linux Mint KDE was just not a good choice. I think
I don't do a lot of customizations. Once I install whatever, whether it's this or KDE, I pretty much leave it the way I just want it to work out of the box. I don't want to fiddle with it. I may change some fonts, some colors, wallpaper, but that's about it. I just want it to work.
Same way. Once I'll spend a week or so making it look how I want it, and then I'll leave it alone. Like I don't think I changed this for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I guess because I'm afraid I might break something. But I just I will say this: in Mint, I installed something called Conky Manager, just to have something on the screen But that's it. That's the highlight of my customizations. Conky Manager.
I agree with Rocco. I agree with Rocco when it comes to. I think it was you that was saying, Rocco, about Conky Manager. They're good, but you can never see them. They don't unless you're on the desktop itself. You don't see it.
Yeah, I mean they're great for certain applications, like if you want a clock. Like I have dual monitors, I can have a clock over here. But the problem is, like right now, I have 6 windows up, and I ain't seeing no Conky. So there is really it doesn't serve a purpose to have it on there if I got billions of windows up and never see it.
It's just eye candy, really. It's kind of like the plasmoids or whatever they call them in KDE. I mean, it's there, but sometimes I'll put the weather, plasmoid on the screen or something like that. But really, that's about it. I don't want a cluttered desktop. I don't even use docks, although I think Cairo dock is pretty cool looking.
I recently tried that, because
yeah,
I haven't tried it for a while, and I was always a Plank user, and I tried it, and it looks fabulous. Okay,
yes, it
looks all you can customize it.
Yep.
But man, there's 2 separate times that I customized it a little too much, maybe I guess, and got it places I didn't want it to go and couldn't get it back to the default settings or anything. It was so messed up.
Yeah, you must have.
It's too complicated.
No.
I prefer Docky.
It really is like a KDE type app, man, where it's like
out of the box,
many
it's
settings
slick.
in there.
It's I use the one that looks like a curve, like parabolic, or whatever that's called. But that's it. Once I set it, I never had a problem with it. Plank is just too bland for me, But Cairo's
the best docks you can make are the ones from your own panels. I mean, in XFCE and Mate, you can use your panels to make a good dock.
Yeah.
And I think Spatry used to do that. He used to have a big long panel across the top. I'm pretty sure. I think it was.
Yeah.
In his what was it? The M-Col. He used to make his own docks, and they're good, and they don't slow your system down because they're a default part of the system. So they're built in.
With M-Col, it was too dark, I felt. I could never find anything.
Yeah, he was into a dark theme.
Well, Revenge OS is the same way, where I think it uses the Black Mate theme on the system, so it is pretty dark. But
with a name like Revenge, it has to be dark. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I find the best dark theme is the OSX Arc Shadow, is it? That is one of the best dark themes. It's not overly dark. It's not too bright. It's just right.
Yeah, but I've found that most dark themes really don't do well with across the board. Like the new, I think it was the new Mate theme, the new Mate dark theme, not Black Mate, but there was a new one in the new Ubuntu Mate. That one went across the board, but most dark themes have problems, like when you go to Firefox, when you go to Chrome, and you got white text.
I think I know
black background.
what you mean. I mean, as far as the desktop, it may look good.
Yes.
But once you use that, Baraka, you are right. Although I don't use dark themes because I normally wear contacts. And sometimes I wear glasses. Just something about having lots of white space. It's easier for me. But you're right. On the dark theme of Mate, I can change its fine. But then once you open apps like Firefox, now there might be a setting in the Firefox to adjust that. But then that's extra work. So nah, I just leave it.
Yeah, here's actually mine. Let's see. See if I can get that going. This is Ubuntu Mate. So it's kind of like a partially dark theme there.
Right.
But you can see the text still works just fine in the box there, but we have white text in the menus up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
a lot of times it doesn't transfer in the actual boxes that you have to type in.
Yeah.
And
I've encountered that a lot.
Yeah, you can't even see what you're typing, so it's like
that's right.
Yeah.
But going back to the dock for a minute, you see, Colin, you had said about it's good when it's integrated into the system, but that's one thing that's exciting about the new Solus and the new, well, I guess Ubuntu Budgie will get it. Is the new Budgie 11, or not the Budgie 11, Budgie 10 point whatever it's going to be when it comes out, is the dock mode that they have integrated into it. So
mine's updated to that already. Actually, they pushed some updates through just yesterday or the day before. But the dock mode defaults to the left-hand side of the panel on the top and bottom. Is that right? Is that you're running Solus?
I've got Solus installed.
I've tried.
You go on.
The dock mode goes to the left-hand side of the screen on the top and the bottom, but it ends up in the middle on the sides, left and right. Is that the normal behaviour?
Yeah.
It is, okay.
But you can very easily open it up and say, expand. So it takes up the whole of the left-hand side.
But you can't put it in the middle of the screen, top and bottom, can you? I haven't found an option unless I've missed something.
When you say in the middle of the screen, so what? So it's just expandable, or?
No, if you set your panel to dock mode, it's not. If it's the bottom panel or the top panel, once you go to dock mode, it goes from the left-hand side of the screen and goes about halfway across the screen. It's not in the center.
So it's not centered. Right. I got
It's not centered. No, it's on the left. So maybe they haven't. Maybe they're not sort of finished with that yet. Probably, I would say, because most docks are centered.
Yes, I agree. It should be centered. I don't know why it wouldn't be centered.
Maybe they haven't finished yet. Maybe they've just pushed some updates through and it's not completely done. Unless I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Tom, I know you're a big fan of Skype. I think there was a big update for the latest Skype, if not mistaken.
It no longer works on the last device it worked on.
It works in Linux. It works
in Linux now, Tom.
I'm using Skype in Linux. I'm using Skype on my Mac.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, they did update for video chat, I think, and I had to use it Tuesday. I was at a conference call in New York, but it worked okay in Linux. So, what doesn't it work for you on? You said.
The problem is all of their mobile versions were pushed to their new unicorn rainbow eyes Snapchat, and it's
so
just
the
this
animal
giant
theme.
nightmare. So I mean, it works. It works, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't behave like Skype. It behaves now like WhatsApp. They're trying to do. They're just trying to make a big social media thing out of it, and then you get these cards all over. You can't go in and just go to your contacts. You got to go up, dismiss all these cards to actually get in and do a contact. The entire purpose of Skype is to do Skype stuff, not
Calling,
have a social environment.
It seemed like the previous versions were a little bit friendlier, especially on the Linux side, I will say. But in terms of it, like, is it stable in Linux? It seems okay so far. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that it doesn't work well for on Linux and what I see is screen sharing. Like if I share my screen, it seems perfectly fine. But if someone's sharing their screen with me, it comes through all pixelated. And so you have that. Now there is the alpha or the beta client, which I've experimented with once. I'm not sure if it's been updated since I've looked at it, and I'm not sure what, if they're even going to continue that, if they're going to turn that into unicorn feces either, but I mean, to look at that thing, it's rainbow. Like, what? Who designed like Skype?
I don't know,
was designed
dude.
for,
Well,
like, business applications.
it's-
Why are we designing it for 12-year-old girls?
Well,
Yeah, I
the
was going
other
to say, it's,
one I read
it's
was
designed
for
for kids, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Rocco,
so-
does it peer in have a fire you can put around Tom, or not really?
No, it's on my fire's on the other computer there. It burns me up that Microsoft just keeps killing perfectly good stuff.
Does Linux not have like a video chat? Do we not have a video chat in Linux at all?
Not by default, do we? I don't think so.
Not by default, but you can
there's a lot of
install.
choices. But the reason I'm hung up over this, and the reason I have a real solution at this point in time is I don't use Skype to do calls like this, okay? Which a lot of different things could do. You know, I use Skype because I am a web developer that works on a global level, and I need a reliable system that A, works, and B, my clients are likely to have.
They've heard of
And
it,
so-
they know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So like I'm thinking I'm leaning towards like a Jitsi probably, which I've not had the best of luck with, but it's probably the best one ish.
We tried
I could move
Uvu,
towards.
something called Uvu, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Uvu,
there's a
yeah.
lot of limitations with Uvu. Primarily, there's no Linux version.
I see. Okay.
Oh.
I don't
That
know, I mean,
did-
And I think you said,
yeah.
I think you
You
said
more or
your
less-
clients insist that you use Skype too, isn't it, Tom?
Well,
Some of your clients
and that's
insist,
a
yeah?
challenge. So as long as they don't break it on Linux, I should be fine.
Yeah, but I don't think you have much of a choice to either go with Skype or a web browser base,
Correct.
because there is no other real good option for you. So you would have to go with a Jitsi or even a peer in or something like that, where you could just send somebody a link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I'll probably end up going towards Jitsi, because at another major thing that Jitsi has is it's becoming one of the ones to use for privacy concerns as well. And I actually have like a whole pile of clients that they're basically come from a union group where security and privacy is a big thing for them, because some of them are, targets for, radicals or whatever else.
Right.
Viber, Viber. This has 800 million users. Wow.
800 million. I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's on my list.
I have it on the
It's an
phone,
Android.
and it is
That's
available
wow.
for Linux. But
Viber.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Viber. 800 million can't be wrong, can they?
Yeah, well, it's essentially like WhatsApp.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
I've never
There was
used
a
it, but
There was
I
a
know
Google
from
Plus
Android.
post just recently where someone was saying 5 reasons why you should change from WhatsApp to Viber.
yep.
I don't use WhatsApp. so-
Reason number one, it's not owned by Facebook.
Right? I don't know. Do any of you guys have a Facebook account? I don't have a Facebook account.
I mean,
I connect
do-
with my friends, Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah,
Comes
I
in
mean,
handy. Yeah.
I've done a lot of work in a lot of different places, so I have real legitimate actual
It's just a matter of
friends across
convenience.
the world.
I don't post a lot, but
Yeah,
it's
I don't
just,
post at all.
Yeah.
And
I have
I
it for
actually,
the family.
yeah, I have an author page actually on Facebook, which actually has been blowing up lately. I have no idea why, because I don't do anything with it. Throw a post up there every 6 weeks so they don't deactivate it.
Well, I
Well,
know
I've got-
Brian. Go ahead, Colin.
Well, I've got Facebook because my family's on the other side of Australia. My missus is Cambodian, so I got connected with some of her family in Cambodia and also connected with some of her family in America.
It's a matter of convenience. It's just.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I have to say the rubbish that comes on Facebook now is just ridiculous.
But that's
Well,
everywhere.
folks, I got an invitation to go kill some orcs, so I'm going to jump off and go do that. So,
All right, man.
chat with
See
you
ya.
guys later.
Later.
See you,
Catch you
Tom.
later. Yeah, I just deleted my Facebook because of that rubbish. It's just
Yeah.
simply not good enough.
I ignore it. You know,
Yeah, I try to ignore it too.
I connect with my friends. Sometimes I'll post odd news or stuff like that, just for a laugh. But as far as the rubbish stuff, that you can find anyway. I mean, especially on YouTube, it seems. But I just ignore it. It doesn't really bother me, you know. But
I can always jump on my wife's profile if I really want to see it.
yeah.
Well, Brian Lunduke just did a thing. I don't know what you would call it, but he was going to delete his Facebook account. I think it was July 4th that they did it. And
well, he had to give a blood sample first, didn't he? Had to give...
Well, he just did a Google Plus post or something saying that they did delete his account, but they didn't delete it on the backup server yet because he was checking.
Yeah, because he's got a friend who works for Facebook or something, and he was going to check how long it took for them to really delete it.
Yeah.
Can you delete yourself off the internet? You really can't, can you? Yeah. Once you get on there, once it's out there, that
you got rid of that.
Data.
No, not Snapchat. What's the other one that's linked to Facebook? That picture thing.
Messenger.
No. There's another. Look, you got Facebook, and then there's another totally different phone app that does pictures and then links to your Facebook page or something, or links to your Twitter page. They all
Instagram.
That's the one, Instagram. Yeah.
I don't use that either. Yeah.
What's the point? Do Facebook
photos.
or Instagram. Why do you have to do? Why do you have to link the both?
Photos. One of my friends, Stephanie, she uses Snapchat quite a bit. Like towards the end of videos with the bunny and the thing. It looks silly, but I don't.
But Snapchat lasts 24 hours and it's gone. It stays on there for 24 hours and then it's all gone. So you can't go back and check Snapchat from 3 weeks ago because it's not there.
I bet you someone's got it.
Yeah, someone probably got it. Well, Jay in the chat wants to know what your guys' thoughts on MX16 are.
Tested it fast, user friendly, I would say. Didn't do a full test. The MX16 controlled panel or control tools, whatever it's called, I thought was pretty cool. Whatever they call it, system tool, something like that. Yeah, it seems okay. Yeah,
it's really good, but it's Debian.
Mm-hmm.
And Debian's the pain.
Well, he said he had trouble installing Debian. Go ahead.
I've always had trouble installing Debian. I've never been successful installing Debian, especially wireless internet is just an absolute headache. And I revisit it so many times. I remember probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I updated the kernel, and then it worked. Then I was successful, and then I said, had enough of it, moved on.
Yeah, Debian really is not really for beginners, I would say, but for stability, because they believe in pure stability versus cutting edge or latest. But it does take a while to get used to.
I've never installed Debian.
Yeah.
It's one fast, good thing about
it works, but yeah, it takes a while.
The one good thing about MX, though, if that user's only just got onto them, the forum is awesome.
Is it?
Really, really good. Yeah.
No kidding.
And you've got a lot of users on there because it's based upon the old Mepis forum.
That's right.
Mepis and Antics and now MX16. And you've got Run with the Dolphin, who's one of the main lead developers on there.
Okay.
And he's
awesome.
very active. Yeah, he doesn't care how stupid the question, how many times it's been asked.
That's nice. Yeah.
You get some people go, well, why didn't you use a search facility? Because I didn't know what to search for. I didn't know what was wrong. Whereas he then just jumps in and says, yeah, you just do this, and this.
It's nice to have someone, in the past on my channel, I've had comments where, the communities are so like toxic and this and that. But I mean, I haven't used all of them. But the best luck for me in the past for forums have been Linux Mint and the Ubuntu forums, communities. So it's, I just
find they're too big. You look up a problem and you get 54 answers. Which one's right?
Sometimes yes, but I always found the answer sooner or later. But I found the answer.
I honestly didn't find the Linux Mint forums as friendly as I thought they would be. Not as friendly as other forums, like say Peppermint or Manjaro. Linux Mint the forums are huge. Number one, they have 1,687,000,000 posts a day. So there's no way to actually
Wow.
read every post that's there.
Yeah.
And it's just,
That's a lot.
you ask a question and you don't get answers from like people in the Mint community. You get answers from people in the community rather than people that actually devs that work on it. So some of the answers are okay, and some of the answers are just
some of the answers don't work. You know, it's that's. I mean, I haven't used the forums in a while, but no, I have seen that in the past. But in general, you know, I've had good luck in the past, but I don't use them as much as I used to, because once I get down to the core apps that I need, and I know they work, there's nothing to really fix or search for.
Yeah, but there's always going to be something that either goes wrong or
sooner or later. Yeah,
there's always something that you need help with. So,
well, I don't use GNOME. That's why I don't have a problem.
I've never used forums. I've never been to any forum. I've always distro hopping in the last 10 years, and the problems I've come up against is just amazing. That I just do a Google search, and then I look at forums, and you find the answers within.
I was going to say,
on Google search
have come from a forum via Google search,
via Google search, and I've seen some.
You might not become part of the forum, but you do use it.
Yes, but I've seen some very, very toxic things in forums, I must say.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, there are toxic things.
Very
That's what I hear.
People. And I just think to myself, I'm just going to stick to Google search, because if I come across one of these people, I might lose my mind. Because you can interpret anything that anyone says in any way. It just depends how you look at it, how you view it, how you perceive it. It could be a different way, and you just go and try it. And I have to admit, I blindly copy and paste commands into the terminal before I knew what they were, any of them were all about, and just blindly did it. And if it didn't work, I moved on. I didn't even know what I was doing half the time. But over the years, I've learned to know what those. If you go to the ArchWiki and read that, you'll learn a lot from there.
Yeah,
I must say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Alan said about the ArchWiki in the chat here. He's saying that it's not always malintended for somebody to, like, when you get a response, well, what did you read the wiki or the ArchWiki? They don't always mean, bad things when they suggest you to go, because that's a suggestion to go there and read it. But the problem with that is it's not just you go there and read it. You have to know what you're looking for. And you also have to be knowledgeable enough to understand what the wiki is saying to you. Okay, it may be for some people that read the ArchWiki, it may be perfectly legitimate, and it's right there. Look at that. But for somebody who's not as knowledgeable, they're going to go to that ArchWiki and it's going to look like Greek, and they're going to have no clue of what they're doing, or they may go step by step, but they have no comprehension of what they're looking at. So they're not learning anything. They're just following steps. And then if anything is different, if anything goes wrong, it's not going to help them. So it may be an okay answer to send somebody to the ArchWiki, but that's not always the best answer for every user.
No. I end up on the ArchWiki because I do Google searches, read up on a lot of stuff. And if those searches lead me nowhere, sometimes the Google search may bring me up to an ArchWiki. And then I've been searching prior to that, have a little bit of an idea, and then you read the ArchWiki, and then sometimes, not all the time, you may find an answer in there. And it doesn't have to be for Arch, it can be for any operating system, because Linux is pretty much, in some cases, standard across the board, in some cases, with their file structures. So the ArchWiki can lead you to an answer to any different operating system, which it's done for me.
But as Rocco said, if you can understand what they're talking about,
yes, I agree.
The step-by-step instructions. The step-by-step instructions are actually 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 10.
Yeah.
What happened to the numbers in the middle? Yeah, there is an assumption that you have got a basic understanding already.
Yes.
10-step instruction in six lines. Seriously?
Yep.
It's just wrong.
If you end up
it's
at
the same way. Go ahead.
Sorry, Rocco. If you end up at the ArchWiki because you're searching for a particular thing, and you might find number 9 that's in 1, 9, 3, 4, but you've come to number 9. That number 9 is probably just the thing that you're looking for, the one thing that you've been searching for. So all the other stuff really hasn't come into play in regards to making a decision or knowing what's going on, because you're just looking for that particular thing. Just depends what you're searching
Yeah.
for.
But
Yeah,
it's the same way with the
yeah.
search, though. You know, Zeb, you were talking about it earlier. You have to know what to search for. And searching on, everybody gives you, oh, well, just Google it, okay? And yes, there are people out there who don't want to go Google it, but there are also people out there who don't know what the right terms to search for. You know, years ago, I used to work with a guy, and we worked at a trucking company together. But we worked on the computers that were there, and I could Google something, and he could Google something, and he would come up with 10 different answers that I didn't come up with because of the way I was searching for it. And he knew exactly what types of terms to use, what types of words to use and not use. And
That's right.
you have to know how to use. I mean, it seems ridiculous that you would have to know how to use Google search, but if you want the best results, you have to know the terms to search for too.
Yep.
So it's not just as simple as saying somebody go Google it. You know what I mean?
Well, this
And
is
a
my
classic
tip.
example. Sorry, Colin, go on.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. My tip, I'd give anyone a tip. The way I've always done my errors is copy and paste the error, or if you can't copy and paste it, try and write the error as best you can, and you, no doubt, will find something that will help you out. And that's how I've always done it, and it's always got me somewhere. And when I see people on Solus, on Google Plus, coming up with some little things, you do a search, I don't know whether people just don't realise how much information's out there on Google. There's a lot of rubbish, but there's a lot of good stuff as well. And like you say, Rocco, you just need to know what to search for, the words, the keywords.
That's why I like, let me Google that for you. Give them a link.
Yep.
And it takes them to Google, and then it types in the question they just asked. And then it gives them the answers.
Well, some people use that as a sarcastic type way of an answer, but it is if you do it the right way and you search for it the right way, it is a help. So.
But a classic example of where that searching goes wrong, in one of my old jobs, we were having a problem when we were doing the banking. So we went on the online help and we typed in banking, and we was there for like, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour trying to find this stuff. Turns out we should have searched for transactions.
Yeah.
But we were doing the banking.
Right.
You were close.
Why would I search for transactions?
Well, I mean, you could just break it down to simple things like the monitor. Like if you're having, display issues, well, most people aren't going to type in display. They're going to type in monitor. Well, monitor's not going to come up with anything. You know what I mean? Like these types of things are what's happening.
And how many different distributions? One has a display, one has a monitor.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah.
So
But
there
it's
you
all
go.
good
There's
fun,
your
and it's why we-
tips for the day. Toss, do you have any trouble searching? No, I didn't think so.
Not lately, no. Since I know what question to ask, or like Colin says, copy and paste the error and search, that usually works. But lately, I haven't had anything to search with. In KDE, I did. There was one or two things I wasn't sure of, but in Linux Mint Mate, pretty much everything works the way it should. I'm trying to think what's the last thing I searched for. Oh, I know it. Sometimes I'll get an error. Well, it's more for Windows. I don't think it happens in Linux, but when I go to OBS, it says please insert the CD drive or something, and it's like, why is that happening? I was searching for that, and I'm not sure if I found the answer, to be quite honest. I don't remember. So some kind of error message will insert the disk is not inserted or something every time I turn on OBS or click on that for some reason in Windows, I think. But other than that, as far as Linux goes, I usually find the answer what I'm looking for,
Well, Colin, you had a good suggestion about typing in or pasting in the error, and that does work, but that doesn't always work every time.
No, it doesn't.
I'll give you an example. I was changing the live stream thumbnail to a different one. I was going to actually do a Rocket League stream the one night. I never did it, but I was trying to change the thumbnail anyway. So I was uploading a new thumbnail through Chrome to YouTube. and it comes up with some ridiculous error no matter which picture I used, no matter what size. I mean, I changed the sizes because it said it was too big.
That's weird.
It had this long error that says you can't upload this file.
No kidding.
So I did it, and I kept doing it over and over again, and I searched it. I copied the error. I copied just half the error. Nothing came up on this. Well, lo and behold, I open Firefox, I go to my YouTube channel, and I change the thumbnail, and it uploads instantly without no problem whatsoever. So it must be a Google Chrome issue, and I don't know why it would be, because it's Google. But either way, it's an issue with Chrome. But the copying and pasting that specific error didn't help me find it. But most of the time, it does help.
It does help. Sometimes I think I've got to the point where I did not find the answer. And you're not always going to find the answer, because if it's a new error, there may not be answers out there because, you know, people haven't come across it before. So that's another thing to consider as well. So if you have a brand new operating system or the latest one, may not be any answers for it.
Well, Eric, it didn't have anything to do with the pixel size, because I actually went and resized the picture downsized the picture so that I could upload it, and neither of the sizes worked. And yet, if I went into Firefox and I uploaded it, both of those worked without having to do anything. So
just download the GNOME extension, the pixel resizer, and that should be fine.
So, well, I mean, at least it's solved. I actually forgot about it. It happened to me a month ago, and then I completely forgot that the fix was to actually upload it with Firefox. But yeah, so there you go. If you're having trouble uploading an image, use Firefox.
Which is why I have both browsers installed, because if you have a problem with one, just jump onto another.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, I still have my Firefox installed, and there'll be certain instances where I'll use it. It's just that, you know, again, going back to Chrome, the sync option is so good. I mean, I don't have to worry about copying folders, jumping distributions. All I have to do is log in,
I agree,
and everything comes back. I mean, like, that is so much better than copying folders around. So
it is.
Firefox does have a sync, but it's not as quick.
And I don't think it's as detailed, is it?
I've used that one, and I can't remember how it come up. Firefox.
I haven't used it in a while, so I don't know. The last time I used it, it didn't like do everything. Like this does your extensions and everything. I don't know if the Firefox sync does that.
Yeah, it will bring in all your add-ons.
That's good. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really use add-ons, so I only just mainly do it for the for my bookmarks and so forth.
Are you hating Empyrean, Frank? Your mic's not working, just so you know.
I'm assuming you've clicked up the top. You've clicked on the mic cam button at the top.
Yeah, up at the top
that's the
in the
one
center.
that always catches me out.
Up in the top center, there's a cam mic button. You got to click on and pick your
pick your
pick
cam
your
and pick your mic.
Yeah.
Well, Empyrean is probably the best one that I have seen out of all the web-based things. Like, you know, I tried Jitsi, and there was a couple other ones. I forget what they're called, but I tried a couple other ones, and none of them are as good as Empyrean. The only thing with Empyrean is we don't use it for the podcast because the recording part of it, for some reason, it raises and lowers my mic in the operating system, so automatically, and there's no way to turn that off. So
I don't think that's Empyrean though. I think that's Chrome doing that. And there's
what it is, it's Empyrean asking for the option to control the mic, which then you have to allow. Otherwise, it won't let you use the mic. Well, then when you do that, then yes, it's basically Chrome or whatever. But either way, you're allowing it to happen.
Yeah,
there's no way to turn it off.
But a quick Google search, there is a fix for that. It's the
what?
There is a fix. I found it the other day for English Bob. I found it the other day for English Bob, but I didn't keep it. I just
wait. Where's that? Let me Google it for you.
But it's something to do with the interface they use in the background, and you have to tell it no, leave it alone.
Well, there was an option in, I think, Skype and a couple other ones for that, but I didn't. Yeah, but you're right. I did Google this. I don't think that I didn't Google this. I Googled it for weeks before we switched to Zoom because we wanted to stay with Appear In because it was so much easier. But I did Google it, and the boxes that they said that were there weren't there in the options. So now maybe it was just me reading it wrong, but
I recorded last year with QuidsUp. Remember after Linux Smith website got hacked or something?
Yeah.
And me and him did a quick one on security, and I'm pretty sure I used the peer.in in Windows, I believe, to record. It seemed okay. I don't recall an issue. Maybe I just got lucky or hit the right buttons, but
well, no, because like it automatically does it. I mean, there's no way to, like, it automatically does it. And it's doing it for the purpose of so that you're not too loud over the other person. But the problem is, like, I'm looking at my volume level right now. And my volume, I have the drop-down menu on GNOME. And I'm seeing my volume level go up and down. And that's bad when you're in a podcast and you're talking with somebody. Like,
what's causing that?
Well, it's you're allowing Appear In to access your mic settings through Chrome, which it then automatically tries to adjust.
Oh,
and so that because it thinks it's helping you, but I don't want it to touch my volume. I want it to leave it alone.
Well, I'm in Linux Mint now, and I don't know. It seems like it's okay on mine. That's kind of weird.
Well, me and Rob went through this a couple times on the podcast in the early days, and he said, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. He thought I was crazy.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Until one day he was hopping and he switched to a certain distro or whatever, and his mic's volume started to go all crazy too.
Well, I will say this: that thing you were mentioning in Google Hangouts, you have to go in the settings under the mic, and you can choose either, I think it's either voice or studio. And if you leave it on voice, Rock, I think it self-adjusts where it's too loud.
Yes.
But if you go to studio, then for some reason it's you adjust it one time and leave it.
Right.
But I don't see that option here in the peer.in. But on my side, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there are various programs that have settings like that allow you to change that or disable that, but Appear In doesn't have that setting.
So what was Zeb saying? Zeb saying that there was something he does, or what were you saying, Zeb?
No, I found a solution for because Sudo tried to do a quick Appear In with English Bob, and we couldn't hear English Bob at all. So Sudo did something, and then English Bob physically showed us his screen. He turned it up to 125%, and then as he started talking, it scrolled all the way down again. So I quickly jumped on, and I've sent you an Ubuntu link via Telegram, Rocco, and that may help you fix it.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
It's probably a GNOME extension there somewhere, Rocco, for that. It's got to be, right? It's got to be in there somewhere.
There's always a GNOME extension. If there's not, somebody will make one, dude.
Yeah.
So
it's something to do with the Pulse Audio Alpha Mixer paths, and you have to tell it just 100% leave it alone, and then you can adjust your slider. Hey, it might work, it might not.
We'll see.
You looking for someone? Have you found a Linux destination buddy yet, Rocco?
I have. Well, let's put it this way. I don't want to make any like rash decisions on saying this person will be here, this person will be there. But Ryan, who is known as Das Geek on YouTube, he's gonna record this week with me, and I think next week even Dustin might join us. I don't know, depending on our schedules, if we can get them all together or whatever. But I haven't made a decision, and I'm not going to make a decision yet. So we'll see how it plays out,
Team up with Mr. Lunduk.
I actually emailed him to have him on Destination Linux, and He emailed back. I mean, it was like a month later, and he said, oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. I've been busy, blah blah blah. But he would love to come on. And then I emailed him back about a schedule, and he never answered. So,
yeah, someone, I think I had mentioned I wouldn't mind doing one with Lunduk. I love his Linux Sucks things he did over at those conferences the last 5 years, and somebody posted, "Oh, Toss, I would kill to listen to that one between my thoughts and his thoughts on Windows versus Linux." But I know because of his schedule. I think he's married with a couple kids or something. And no, I'm not trying to, but I wouldn't mind doing one with him. But he seems like a really nice guy, and I used to love him on the Linux Action Show.
Yeah, but see, he's so busy, dude. He does so much stuff on his own thing. It's like,
well, now that he jumped on YouTube on a regular schedule, see, before last year before, when I thought about contacting him, he wasn't on YouTube regularly. But now he does Linux Thursdays or the Lunduk Hour, and sometimes he comes on at 1 o'clock in the morning. He's doing a lot more on YouTube.
Wait, I listened to a live stream on him the other day, dude. It said he was live, right? So I got it on my phone. I pull it up, and the only thing for the 20 minutes or whatever he was on, he was like do 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 do.
He doesn't care.
He's messing with his desktop settings and everything. He does. I mean, like.
Well, it wasn't 20 minutes, but I think I know.
I'm like, why am I watching this? He's not even talking. He's
just the way he is.
And I think a lot of it is he waits until he's got about 50 or 60 people watching him until he starts.
Yeah.
He won't start the stream if you've got like 20 people on there. So yeah, he just sings these Muppet songs to himself.
Well, we only got 15, so he would never come on here.
He's got his own thing. Sometimes you'll have Matt Hartley on.
He seems like an okay guy.
Yeah,
he seems like a down to earth guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I would say so. He took over sort of when Brian Lunduk left the Linux Action Show. Yeah, he seems nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of write-ups on Freedom Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But for someone who's a Linux guru, why does he always look jaundiced? What's wrong with his monitor? He's like this orangey yellow the whole time.
Maybe he just doesn't care, man.
Yeah, I think they use Hangouts sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't adjust the camera. I have, like last night I jumped on late. Someone, Ben, one of my followers, wanted to do something quick. I jumped on, and my camera was like yellowish. It's something in Hangouts. I left it the way it was. Heck, it was 11:30 at night. Leave it. Screw it.
Well, I have to say, for Destination Linux, that is probably one of the biggest headaches out there. I mean, there's a lot of work involved in getting everything together, but the biggest headache has to be scheduling. I mean, because I have emailed so many different people, and with the same type situation where they'll say yes, and then I'll email them back, and they never answer back. Ryan Sipes was another one from Pop OS, from System 76. I wanted to talk to him about Pop OS, and he emailed and said, "Yeah, I'd love to do the show." Blah blah blah, and then I emailed him back, and then he never. There's been so many things like that. But
that's just so rude, though. I know people are busy, but it doesn't take 30 seconds to reply. Sorry, Rocco, missed your email. Can't do it, mate.
Yeah.
At least reply. I would have to agree. I remember when I got the invitation from, I don't know if it was you, Rocco, or Rob, about Destination Linux, and I replied, I don't know if it was immediately that day, but I said, sure. I think it was something like, hey, Toss, I don't know if you ever heard of Destination. I said, of course I have. And I think last October, my followers, they voted Destination or Linux or Linux Quest YouTuber of the month. But I think once Rob sent the message, I think I replied that day or that week. I can't remember. And then we scheduled up the recording. But yeah, at least reply either yes or no. You can or you can't. I try to reply to every single comment or email I get. And sometimes I miss them. The app TubeBuddy helps because there's a drop down menu where you can choose comments I haven't replied to yet.
Right.
And sometimes I'll use that. I mean, I should do a video on that because that app is extremely useful. But I try to apply to all of them unless the questions or the comments are somewhat redundant. Then I'll just type in okay or give it a thumbs up or a like or whatever. But you should try to reply. I mean, it's just common courtesy. So.
Well, I don't find it. I mean, I don't take offense to it. Like it's like I know these guys like Ryan and stuff. They're extremely busy. Okay, I mean they're in the community. They're all over the place. They're also doing other podcasts. Like Ryan Sipes did the Linux Action News Show with Joe Resington this week when Chris was off. So I know they're busy. So I don't take offense to it. It's just a frustrating part of putting it all together because it seems more often than not you have a lot more. Like you will put out feelers or whatever to interview somebody, and you'll have so many more that you can't get a hold of than you can actually get a hold of.
It's almost random luck. I mean, I can understand if a channel has like 500,000 subscribers, you can't just reply to everybody.
Right.
That's not possible. But I suppose if the person's important, then you have to reply. But it's just common courtesy to try and reply. So
It's a bit like the Ubuntu forums with 250 pages of unanswered posts.
Wow.
Is that right? Gee, that's a lot.
Yep.
That's an awful lot, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's good. That proves they have a lot of followers. I guess. I don't know. The more popular you are, the less you respond, right? Which makes you less popular in the end. I don't know.
Well, when I started the YouTube channel, I made it a point to answer every single person that made a post or made a comment because I figured that, they're taking the time to comment. I should make the time to answer them. But even that is a lot, and I don't have near the subscribers that somebody like you has, Toss. I can't imagine having to reply to every single one of those people.
If I try to do it all in one day, sometimes I might miss it. But if I break it out during the week, having my phone with me all the time helps. This is my main tool here, but this really does help to do a quick response or to remind me, hey, don't forget to reply.
Right.
I have noticed that doing the live events, I'm trying to do like 2, 3, or 4 a week sometimes because it's live, and that's a little thing I picked up. I didn't think about it till like the last couple months, but when you do live events on a regular basis, the people tend to comment or ask you a question right then and there, and they won't ask it later. So like you just reply there, if it makes any sense. So doing the live events, at least for me, I mean, it's not for everybody. It makes it easier to reply to a comment or to a question. And so you either reply verbally or just type it in. And that's cut down on the comments or questions. It's gotten a lot more manageable because when I do the live events, my emails drop or my comments drop, like in the comments section because they were asked and then I answered it.
Right.
Or I'll type it in later. But the live events, even though it's kind of more work to get prepared, but gosh, after you do like 40, 50 like I have, it's like having a ham and cheese sandwich. It just becomes so natural. But yeah, if you're not used to it, like if I let it go a week or 10 days, man, I got to go back in. But yeah, it can add up. But the live event seems to cut it down a lot, actually. So,
and that really works on your channel because you keep up with the chat.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoy it, I go on Sudo's channel every time he's on, but then he'll be 15, 20 minutes behind the chat. So he's talking about something. You've made a Saki comment and you've typed it in, and then 20 minutes later we read your Saki comment thinking, what was that all about?
I tried.
Well, if you'd have read it 20 minutes ago,
if
you'd have read it 20 minutes ago, you'd have got it. So
I
do really well.
try not to do that. No, that's almost kind of, I won't say rude, but the timing's off. You know.
Yeah.
When I was playing that 20-some minute best of news nonsense, I muted my mic as courtesy played the audio, but I was watching chat.
Right.
There was a guy I just typed in like laughing out loud or something, you know. But that night there wasn't a lot of people, less than 20, I think. So it made it, you know, if you got 40 or 50, type, you know, but they'll give it a thumbs up, funny, you know.
Wait,
but yeah,
I clicked on a link tonight to watch. Well, I play Rocket League, and believe it or not, they had a championship match in Atlanta today for Rocket League. I mean, they pay these guys to go play Rocket League.
Okay.
But anyway, I clicked on the link in Twitch, and this chat window had like, there was like 800,000 people viewing this stream. And this chat window was going faster than I could even read it.
It's like a Wall Street ticket.
Oh my gosh! It was like boom, boom, boom. I couldn't even concentrate on what was being said because you had probably, no lie, you had maybe a second before that comment was already off the screen. There's no way.
Oh, it's like a Wall Street like journal. It just comes off the screen, like, you know. But yeah, and I know what you mean. That's bizarre. I know what did I see last week, 2 weeks ago? Nixie Pixel came back. God bless her. She had cancer or something. I mean, I hope she's but man, the comments just flew off the screen.
It was like at the end of a movie when you get all the
all the credits. Yeah, I mean, I typed them on the glad
and you
you're
had
back.
to pause it because you wanted to see who the Mike Boom man was or something because they just fly off the screen.
I didn't stay on it long. I just, you know, she says, I hope I look okay. She asks, do you look fine? I'm, you know, glad you're okay. I mean, I wasn't the only one saying that, you know, but I mean, the comments are like,
yep.
You know.
But did you catch it right at the beginning when she first came on and she was with her techie man sitting down and she was looming over the screen? And
I think I caught part of it.
Just about boobs.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that
for
part.
about 5 minutes, it was just, oh, I'm glad Pixel's back. Lovely boobs. Just madness.
Well, I didn't do that, no. But I think she asked something about it's been a while and is my color off or because of the. I actually felt bad. I thought she looked lovely for.
I don't think it was. I don't know if it was cancer. I think it was some type of like debilitating.
Yeah. She was gone for a while. Yeah.
Like had something to do with pain. Like there was something like
the impression I got. It really had her knocked out, for lack of a better word. But I mean, I felt bad, but I thought she did fine, you know. But yeah, those comments, man. Oh my God.
Well, I just couldn't believe these comments, dude. I mean, it was just like, I just couldn't believe it. It was so fast. You couldn't even read what was. I don't know how they were typing. Like, there's no way me as sitting at my computer could type any kind of question or relating to anything. Like, you just have to be saying random stuff. Because there's just no way to read it.
No, those type of live events. There's another one I was looking at. He has almost 300,000 subscribers, and he was just picking the ones that did the super chat, like a donation. Thank you for this, because it goes so fast. With the super chat, it pins it to the top for 30 seconds, a minute, depending what you give, and he would catch it. Now that may seem rude just to answer those, but because it's happening so fast, and I'm thinking about it, like if I had 300,000, oh my God! I mean, there must be hundreds of comments or questions, if not thousands. So
yeah, but that's the whole point of super chat, though. You're paying for your question to be answered, as well as supporting the channel.
Right. Right, and it supports the his channel, which you know, it's fine. I have no problem with that, but still. If you try to catch a lot of them, and he had quite a few super chats, you know, in that particular, you know, but yeah, with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you just can't answer them. It's impossible.
No. Would be a nice problem to have.
Yeah. I would have to do a lot more live events if I had them. And I said, look, thank you to all 500 of you who commented last night. The answer is maybe.
Yeah, right.
Oh my.
Well, I think I'm gonna actually end this live stream right here, and we shall return next Friday night. How's that?
Sounds good.
Well, thank you guys for stopping by, and
right.
here's Frank coming in for the ending.
Frank's gonna come in for the goodbye.
Frank, did you get your mic working yet? No, it's definitely not working.
We'll have to take up lip reading.
All right, I will catch you guys next week.
Is Frank the new ski?
He is.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Cheers then. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye.